good afternoon. This is Houndog Steve wishing you a very pleasant afternoon. And here I am at the Universal Ostrich farm in Edgewood, BC. And I'm getting a little tired of doing using my cell phone to do a video because I can't edit, I can't add things in, I can't... it's a lot more complicated doing it that way, and I still haven't figured out how to live stream, unfortunately. But really, right now we're playing a waiting game. The vet did come in today, and we're waiting to hear the results of what the vet said, although he was very, very restricted in his movements. But whilst I was waiting, I thought I would do a little bit of research into the Universal Ostrich farm, and I found some interesting little clippets of news here that I thought you might like to take a look at. But yes, Karen Esperson and Dave Belinsky started this farm 31 years ago, and they have been working diligently to raise ostriches, sell their eggs, create a market for ostriches and their products, and they have been incredibly successful. And you know, this is the kind of entrepreneurship that we want to see across our country, because they are basically the backbone of the employment industry in Canada. These small to medium-sized businesses who create significant numbers of jobs in their local area. Anyway, this first story, and it just shows you what a different attitude it was back in 2021 when this farm was being called out as basically a hero of the whole COVID epidemic. And not just that, as you will see in this little piece I'm about to read. Here, take a look. Okay, so this is from Castnet, which is Kelowna's homepage. BC Ostrich Farm developing antibodies that could put an end to the coronavirus. And here they are, beautiful ostriches out in the pasture. The biggest birds on the planet could be the key to ending the coronavirus, including the Delta variant, which is causing much concern. And the BC Ostrich Farm is on the cutting edge of making that happen. Universal Ostrich Farm in Edgewood gained public attention when the owners refused to evacuate in the face of the Michaud Creek wildfire last month. Not only did they stay, but the farm became a refuge for numerous other livestock that people dropped off as they left the area. The farm is no longer in danger, and now Karen Esperson and Dave Belinsky can go back to working on saving the world from a nasty little virus. It turns out ostriches have a strong immune system, and when exposed to the COVID-19, they quickly create antibodies. Working with a lab back east, we inoculated our hens with the dead Corona-19 virus. The hen produces antibodies in 2 weeks, and 2 weeks after that she puts them into her eggs, said Esperson, adding that is one of the reasons they were so hesitant to abandon their 500 birds. This is a very natural process, and last year we were able to block 99.9% of the coronavirus if it was infused in a face mask. For various reasons, the face mask was never mass-produced, but a different company began testing, and they discovered the birds could be the key to neutralizing COVID-19 completely. We were so excited about being able to help the world, we dedicated all of our laying hens on this farm to this program, said Esperson, adding, ostriches can produce an egg every 2 days for several months in a row. We inoculated all of our hens this summer, and they've been producing antibodies that can neutralize the COVID-19 virus. Belinsky said the antibodies are extracted from the egg yolk, with a single ostrich egg being equivalent to 24 chicken eggs. This last week we got word from the lab the antibodies are neutralizing the Delta variant, said Belinsky. Esperson said they are now taking the next step and are working with a company out of Vancouver to create a nasal spray that could be administered to anybody with COVID. Maybe it can be something everyone can hold in their pocket or keep in their medicine cabinet, and if they got coronavirus they would be able to take this, she said. This is going to be a game changer, added Belinsky. In a report published last year by a company called Biospace, Dr. Yoshiro Takamoto, Dean of the Graduate School of Life and Environmental Sciences at Kyoto Prefectural University, and co-CEO of Ostrich Pharma USA, said we have produced ostrich antibodies to many viruses, bacteria and allergens, but we were pleased to see how quickly the ostriches developed immunity and placed the anti-SARS-CoV antibodies in their eggs. We were even more pleased to see how capable the antibodies were in blocking the virus that causes COVID-19. 10 ostriches were vaccinated, and the antibodies from their eggs have already been used in mass nasal drops and candies in Japan. The Rinku Medical Clinic, a cancer hospital in Osaka, Japan, has begun a clinical trial on the use of ostrich antibody nasal drops to prevent hospital-acquired coronavirus infection. If a patient infected with SARS-CoV-2 is present, a doctor will spray the antibody solution in the nasal cavity of hospitalized patients, close contacts, and healthcare professionals. Now, since they've discovered the incredible antibodies that are created by ostrich eggs and the incredible immune system of ostriches, it has come to the notice of a scientist in Kyoto Prefecture, Kyoto University, and here is his Facebook page, and again, he is going to tell you the quality of the antibodies of these birds. Okay, so here is the University of Kyoto Facebook page, and this of course is Dr. Sakamoto Yasuhiro, and this is a statement that he makes on behalf of the government of Japan. High-quality antibodies have been successfully extracted from ostrich eggs by Kyoto Prefectural University President Dr. Sakamoto Yasuhiro. Ostriches are hardy animals with a strong immune system, and at 1/4000th the price of antibodies from other animals, their high-quality antibodies are easy to mass-produce, meaning they may show the way forward for the modern world where responses to viruses like COVID-19 and the economic problems they cause are solved. Okay, so there you go. This is in black and white. Read it in black and white. The evidence is completely clear. So another little story that I came across, which I thought was very interesting, because this is from the NIH in the USA, the National Institute of Health, and this is a story about an avian flu outbreak in Germany, and instead of culling all of the birds in a German zoo, there was an exemption made because of the value of these birds. So we find out from this article that exemptions are possible and are made. Now, there were certain conditions, but I believe the isolation of this farm, I mean, trust me, it is a long way away from any kind of big city life. So those conditions, I think, could easily be met by this farm without any hardship to the farm or the animals themselves. But anyway, just take a listen to this article. Okay, so this is from the National Institutes of Health, and this is from their National Library of Medicine. Epidemiological and molecular analysis of an outbreak of highly pathogenic avian influenza H5N8, clade 2.3.4.4 in a German zoo. Effective disease control with minimal culling. Abstract. Outbreaks of highly pathogenic avian influenza A virus, HPAIV, subtype H5N8, clade 2.3.4.4, were first reported in January 2014 from South Korea. These viruses spread rapidly to Europe and the North American continent during autumn 2014 and caused in Germany 5 outbreaks in poultry holdings until February 2015. In addition, birds kept in a zoo in northeastern Germany were affected. Only a few individual white storks showed clinical symptoms and eventually died in the course of the infection. Although subsequent in-depth diagnostic investigations showed that other birds kept in the same compound of the white storks were acutely positive for or had undergone a symptomatic infection with HPAIV H5N8, an exception. Get this, an exception from culling all of the 500 remaining zoo birds was granted by the competent authority. Restriction measures included grouping the zoo birds into 8 epidemiological units, in which 60 birds of each unit tested repeatedly negative for H5N8. Epidemiological and phylogenetical investigations revealed that the most likely source of introduction was direct or indirect contact with infected wild birds, as the white storks had access to a small pond frequented by wild mallards and other aquatic wild birds during the period of 10 days in December 2014. Media network analysis showed that the zoo bird viruses segregated into a distinct cluster of clade 2.3.4.4 with closest ties to H5N8 isolates obtained from mute swans in Sweden in April 2015. This case demonstrates that alternatives to culling exist to rescue valuable avifaunistic collections after incursions of HPAIV. I'm just going to say that again, just so that you understand that exceptions can be made. This demonstrates that alternatives to culling exist to rescue valuable avifaunistic collections after incursions of HPAIV. The other thing I want to say about this situation is how incredibly proud I am of Katie and her family for digging in their heels and standing up to what amounts to tyranny. It is incredibly brave. If any of you have been through a situation like this, you'll know how it just grinds you down. And for Katie to keep on putting on, Katie and Karen and Dave, to put on a positive face on this situation and keep basically pushing forward is incredibly brave, and my heart absolutely goes out to this family. And if you could only meet them, you get a sort of idea when you see her on videos, but trust me, these are the nicest, most down-to-earth, friendliest people I have ever met in my entire life. They are just a wonderful family, no different than you and I, no matter what the media tries to make us out to be. We are just average, regular folk here who are basically drawing a line in the sand and saying no. And so many people I talk to here, they're doing it for their children, as we should be, because our children, if we don't do this now, we're the last generation who has enough history behind us to realize what it was like before all this. Okay, and if we don't speak out now, we will never have that opportunity again. So please donate, help out any way you can, and be thankful that there are people like Katie, Karen and Dave in this world, and the other people who showed up from all over the country to basically support this situation. So thank you so much, Katie. My heart's out to you. My thoughts and prayers are with you all the time for an incredible outcome in this situation. Thank you so much. Now, I cannot believe for the life of me why this farm and these ostriches have gone from the saviors of the world to the worst threat to humanity that has ever existed. And because it's gone the way it's gone, I can only assume that there are other political pressures being brought to bear. I know that we are now under the World Health Organization and the World Animal Health Organization. We signed both of those treaties and essentially given up our sovereignty to be able to make these kind of decisions. The whole thing's just been taken away from the Canadian government, and this makes this an incredibly difficult situation. I am hoping for the best possible outcome here, but I think we can all now start to see what an absolute danger it is to give up this kind of sovereignty to an unelected group of people who can declare anything, absolutely anything on this planet, a threat to humanity and try and stamp it out. And I think it is this not just undemocratic but anti-democratic and hate for life that seems to be, so baffling. I mean, look at the animals that have been killed over the last 5 years or so, maybe even longer than that when you go back to mad cow. I mean, it's just been an absolute slaughterhouse and disposable of animals that could be used for food, that could be used for science, many, many, many other things, and yet there's been no regard for this unless you want to eat a worm burger. But, like I say, this is a very tenuous situation, and we really do need everyone's support everywhere. And one of the most powerful things that we have at our fingertips is email. And it takes seconds to research, who is your MP, MPP, their constituency office, their contact information, emailing the CFIA, bombard them with phone calls, any research that you can do, because the real Achilles heel of the government is embarrassment, and they will do anything to avoid embarrassment or to feel that it was actually their hands on the necks of the ostriches. And so they're going to try and distance themselves from this as much as possible. And so anything that you can do, anything that you can dig up, anything you can find, anything of the history of the CFIA, which is disastrous. If you want to go back and look at a couple of my videos from about a month ago, and you'll see just what a horror show. The East Coast fisheries collapse, the West Coast BC salmon fiasco, the sheep now that's got the prize sheep that was slaughtered for over scabies, and it was never found in the sheep. I mean, it's just been one disaster after another. And if there is one agency that definitely needs to be not only brought to heel but completely overhauled with an injection of common sense, this is it. And in the meantime, if you've enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe below. And yes, this is Houndog Steve signing off, wishing you a very pleasant afternoon, and we'll talk very, very shortly. See you now. Bye.